So I would like to share a letter that I wrote. It's for my daughter. It explains a lot of what you guys are talking about. When I say you guys, the ones that will be sharing these videos, because you deserve to, and you can make it make sense or blend together in a more appropriate way. I completely trust that you guys will figure it out. My reason for sharing this letter is to reach the people that might have similar experiences, and so that we can relate and focus on solutions now that I've been able to identify the problems. Before I decided to share this information publicly, I just want you to know that I have shared it with every official or agency, starting from the ground up, which is why I feel as though I deserve the right to share this story publicly. The other reason that I am doing this is it is my hope, my Christmas wish, my solstice wish, my New Year wish, that this reaches my daughter so that she can have a better understanding about the whole story, and hopefully it'll lessen her feelings of feeling abandoned. So here goes. Dear Maria, the reason that we have been separated for the last 2 holiday seasons is because the spiritual war that is being intentionally done by the government, who discriminates against a child's well-being to include their emotional, psychological, and spiritual well-being. Even with your therapist telling DCYF of you being in fear, but not physically, because your father never physically abused you. So DCYF chose to ignore all the reports and went to the extent of playing God in your life, robbing you of your child innocence. We spent a decade of not only telling the truth, but me showing and proving the truth to the officials within the helping agencies, who in return used the knowledge that I provided for their own personal gain. I'm not sure if you remember in 2015, the first time you were taken from me, and we had a court-appointed guardian ad litem who was wonderful, but DCYF has a law that prevents them from sharing documentation with the GAL. The full report is not shared, but only the cover letter of determination, whether it's founded or unfounded, which prevents a child's attorney from being able to fully represent the best interest of the child's well-being and rights. This law also applies to DCYF and law enforcement, sharing reports openly all the way up to the Attorney General and the Department of Health and Human Services Commissioner. This is called tyranny, and it is an intentional systemic breakdown which led to the DHHS Commissioner resigning because she was unable to fulfill her fiduciary duty by completing a complete case assessment and internal investigation of DCYF in Belknap County, New Hampshire. Another example of tyranny is the Laconia Family Court sealing my address, but the Department of Justice refusing to recognize the importance of my address being sealed, not 1, 2, 3, but 4 times, the 4th being indefinitely, because I was not a victim of physical abuse. I am not protected by the abuse law because there's no physical violence, but an entire decade of false reports, libel, and slander, all that consumed tax-paying dollars for investigations after we were forced to sell the only home that we both knew. Maria, it's been 1,036 days since we were separated, while DCYF law enforcement and the schools and the school district literally cornered you, bullied you, while your father was present so that you would be forced to lie while being interrogated. What I have come to learn is that we became a target of gang stalking as a way for the people involved to use you as a weapon when I outsmarted the entire system. What I have also learned is that another reason for this gang stalking to occur is to steal an inheritance that was left for us. There's been countless acts of perjury covered up by the justice system that the FBI is more than aware of. For us being apart this long is pure evil and intentional, because everything I am speaking of in a simplified way have all been offered in detail as solutions directly up the chain of command to the New Hampshire Supreme Court under Rule 11 original jurisdiction. Even within the New Hampshire court, a separation of power needs to be addressed, because the Attorney General who chose to cover up the false accusation in 2015, which was pointed out in the notice of decision from the family court, is now the Chief Justice in the Supreme Court. Maria, we must be very important to be attacked by all these people who pretend to be in a position to serve and protect. Lovebug, on the flip side, we must be so important to have divine protection sent to us to counteract all this evil and malice conduct that cannot be seen by the physical scars, but emotional scars that are unlikely to heal anytime soon, and will continue to do a grave disservice to not just you and I, but to everyone who can relate to our story. Our story that will be shared by the truth tellers, tarot readers, who deserve recognition of keeping me updated on the news that the government tried so hard to not have exposed. Maria, I know you were made to feel abandoned, and I feel none of your actions deserve to be treated as karmic, because you are forced into a self-preservation mode, a sense of survival, and that none of this is your fault. I love you. Merry Christmas and happy solstice, and may the truth set you free and offer you protection from the evil couple who has done this to you intentionally, supported by a coven who does not believe in the most simplest principles to never lie, steal, or cheat.